October 7th, 2023. One of the largest terrorist attacks in history occurred in Israel. On that morning, over 2,000 Palestinian members of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad organization and the Hamas terrorist group penetrated the borders of Israel, breaching through the border security fences, and went on a 3-day massacre of every man, woman, and child that they could find in Israel. They not only killed the soldiers, they killed all the settlers along the border. They killed their family members. They killed Muslim Bedouins. They killed Christian taxi drivers. They killed Buddhist Thai farm workers on rice farms. And they literally slaughtered every person they could find at a music festival just about 4 kilometers away from that border. They went through every settlement in southern Israel that they could get into, including the 2 cities of Sderot and Zakim, Sderot, and Ashkelon. They made their way along the south with the attempt to penetrate from the south into central Israel before the Israeli army, Israeli police, and the defense forces of each of the kibbutzim put a stop to it. Then it was 2 days of nonstop combat where the Israeli army fought them, killed them by the hundreds, and then forced them back into the Gaza Strip. We discussed this on a previous episode of Black Man Spy, where I went Mission Middle East and went around to all the sites of this attack. However, I didn't show you everything we have in the archives. In fact, I only discuss it in a political sense and a historical sense. But now, today, we're going to show you some of the footage from those kibbutzim just a couple of months after the massacres occurred. Most of these facilities were still in a destroyed state. They have not been cleaned up at that time. Blood was still evident, invisible in many places. And so we're going to show you the horrific terrorist attack which occurred on Israel on October 7th. Of course, the next day, the Israeli armed forces retaliated with the intent to destroy the Hamas military force, estimated at that time to be as many as 40,000 armed men. And with that started the Israel-Hamas war. That war has been going on almost nonstop for the last year. Is that a victory for Hamas? Or does it show a strategy where Israel is whittling down every individual member of the group without losing the thousands of soldiers people estimated early on? The Israelis have lost somewhere along the lines of 300 soldiers in exchange for what they estimate to be as many as 20,000 dead Hamas members. Now, this has been a horrific and brutal war, but Hamas chose this war. Hamas designed the strategy, which I wrote in a previous Substack called Hamas Needs Dead Children. The strategy was simple: invade Israel, kill as many Jews and non-Jews as you can find, take hundreds hostage, bring them back to the Gaza Strip, and then let Israel destroy Gaza, and Hamas would get global support. This actually happened. In fact, we have Americans and European university students and adults, all of whom blamed Israel for defending their borders and going back into Gaza to kill Hamas. But Hamas's strategy was to fight with civilians all around them, with hundreds of kilometers of tunnels dug in, and to let the Israelis bombard the buildings and peoples above their head. That happened. Within the first 6 months, as much as 50% of the Gaza Strip was destroyed. The Israelis, of course, had to fight a terrorist force every 100 meters. And in doing that, which is what we call the war, they destroyed, with exchanges of gunfire, rocket fire, mortars, and rockets, They destroyed entire sections of the Gaza Strip. But let no mistake be made here. Hamas chose this war. Hamas designed this war to be fought exactly as you're seeing. And Hamas is responsible for every death.